guys, I am Izzy Hart, and for those who don't know me yet, I have got dysonic cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is basically a disability. It's actually quite common, and you think about 30,000 kids have it. The only way I can describe cerebral palsy is your brain is a bit slower at sending signal to your body. So whereas a normal person's brain would send a signal like saying pick something up, my brain sends a signal and to say pick something up, and it didn't do it straight away, if that makes sense. It's caused by brain damage, and it is there when you're born, so you're born with cerebral palsy, and so you don't know what it's like to live without it. So for me, I was born with it. I was starved a lot again when I was born, and this meant that I had brain damage from it, which caused my cerebral palsy. There are like different types of cerebral palsy. There are loads, quadriplegia, apoloid, there are loads. I can walk, talk, and do most things. Someone with a different kind of quadriplegia probably won't be able to do that. Basically, this video is about raising awareness about cerebral palsy and just like making people understand what it is, because most of the time I say I have cerebral palsy, people are like, what is that like? Is it an illness? Can you catch it from someone? No, it's just a disability that you're born with, and it affects your speech, your movement. As you can tell, you probably can't understand me, but that's okay. It's basically just a disability that no one really knows about unless you know someone with it. And I kind of want to talk about my experience with it with you guys today. So, as I said, I was born with it, so I've had it all my life. So I basically don't know my life without it. So if you were to ask me what it is like with cerebral palsy, I wouldn't be able to answer that question, because I don't know what it isn't like with cerebral palsy. So I've been living with it for 17 years now. Yeah, 17 years. And it basically, it has its up and downs. one moment you're like that, then one moment you're like that. It causes you so much heartache, but so much joy at the same time. If I was 16 or 14 months old, I was diagnosed with it, and it was because I wasn't developing like normal babies would. I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk, I couldn't even crawl at that point, and so the doctors knew something was up with me, but they didn't know what. But at 14 months old, I got the diagnosis of cerebral palsy. From then on, in order to help me learn to walk, talk, I've had to go to physio, speech therapy, I've had to go to numerous doctor's appointments, I've had to go everywhere, just to monitor it and help me with it. And so from an early age I've been going to appointments. So from then on it's just been going to doctor's appointments, physiotherapy, speech therapy from like a young age. For physio it was learning to walk, and for speech it was learning to talk. I went to them until I could walk. It was about 3 years I was going to physio for. So a long while before I started walking and that. And then at 4 years old I started to walk without any equipment, special aid. Before then I could walk, but with a K-walker. It's basically like a little walker that you hold on to at both sides and you walk with it. So I had that for a while, and then when I started walking, I didn't use it anymore because I didn't need it. For my speech, I started talking at the same time. Well, I think, I'm not certain, I can't really remember. So, by the time I was 5, I was getting about a bit more, like walking. I don't know if I was running actually. I think running was a bit too hard for me at that point. But I could definitely walk, and then my speech was improving. I mean, I only said a few words and not like full sentences, but it was improving. I could communicate with people well. That was the early stage of my life, and by then I was going to a special needs nursery for people with disabilities, so that really helped me with my walking and talking. I went there 2-3 times a week, and we would do loads of stuff there. And I also went to a mainstream to nursery with my twin brother. So I went to nurseries as well. And that the owner was my special needs nursery helped me a lot. And so I went there up until I was nearly 5 years old. And then I went to a mainstream primary school, which the doctor said I wouldn't be able to do because I had cerebral palsy. So that was a big achievement for me and my family, getting me to primary school. But was a lot different for me. Kids weren't sure why I walked or talked funny, and so they were a bit nervous around me, you know how kids you play with each other like that. They didn't do that with me. They hadn't been around a person with cerebral palsy before, and so it was a struggle in primary school to make friends a lot and for people to accept me for who I was, just simply in the early years, because I didn't understand. I don't even think kids knew what a disability was or what cerebral palsy was. I reckon they just saw it as a weird wobbly girl. Anyway, it was really hard to start off with because I needed all sorts of adaptations as well to go through primary school, such as special equipment, more support in the classroom. I needed a laptop because writing was physically draining for me. It would make my hand ache. When I actually started using a laptop, I hated it. I was literally convinced TAs and teachers to let me write, but they were like, no, not happening. You're using the laptop. So I didn't get my own way with that, unfortunately. But as I used it more and more, I got used to using the laptop, and so I then choose to use a laptop instead of writing more when I was a teenager, but also when I was in primary school as well. So that was a adaptation I needed to get used to, as I think when I was in year 2 I started using a laptop. Then I got used to using it from then on, but it was weird at first because I didn't even know how to type or how to use a laptop, but the teachers and that would show me, and I had specialists come in to my school and teach me how to use it. So that made it easier for me to use. So yeah, when I started using a laptop, I also started using a special chair as well. So why didn't you sit on a chair that no other kid would sit on? Like, I would have needed my special chair. Now, how I refer to it. So, I had a special chair, I had a laptop, obviously I had teaching assistant, but equipment wise, for like art and craft, I had like special scissors, but I can't remember, but yeah, so it was a bit different for me, because I needed to use a laptop and that, but it was like fun at the same time, because I got to like figure out like what all these like apps were, like what Microsoft Word was, how to use a laptop, and it was basically, that was the way I wrote from then on the majority of the time. And even though at first I hated it, I grew to use a laptop as my main way of writing, which was easier for me. But yeah, so that was the equipment I used. Throughout my childhood and school life, I needed to use I needed to see like loads of specialists, so they're basically like doctors, therapists, other people, experts. Yeah, he basically helped me a bit with like adapting to my school life and that. Back then I didn't really like it, because I hated missing class. In my eyes, it was like being taken away from the real world, which was like difficult for me to accept, because I hated being different altogether. I just wanted to be like everyone else. I wanted people to treat me like everyone else. But like, I knew that in some cases that wasn't possible, because even though I was a kid and no one saw me as different in my family and my closest friends, I still was different in a way, because I had cerebral palsy, and so I needed a lot of help with that. I don't know how to say it. I needed help with something, like say my laptop broke down, I needed someone to come in and fix my laptop. If my posture was deteriorating, because I was using a wrong chair, and I needed someone to come in and fit me a new chair. I also still had physio and speech therapy sessions, because my movement wasn't as good as it is now. Sometimes I would find it really fun. I mean, not the speech therapy as much, but the physiotherapy, as like they would do like coordination exercises with like throwing a ball in a net and bouncing a ball up and down, and also like doing stretches to like loosen my muscles as cerebral palsy like makes my muscles a bit stiff. And so I found it fun at times, but other times I would like, if my mum said I got a physio session today, I would be like, oh no, oh great, I really don't want to do physio today, I just want to relax. But that was impossible. I knew I needed to do physio whether I liked it or not. In the long run, it would help me. It was a bit of a mixture of how I felt about going. But then sometimes I would like it, and then others I would hate it. It was just a mixture of feelings I had towards it. So, yeah, that was how I found these appointments that came with cerebral palsy. And also like how I view myself. I saw myself as different sometimes because I would have to go to them. And in a way I was, because no one else needed to go to a physio appointment or speech therapy appointment or doctor's appointment for my cerebral palsy. So that made me feel a lot different as well. And what also made me feel different was going through school, especially primary school. I wouldn't be treated like others. So by no other kids, I mean the teachers would treat me like they would treat everyone else. The kids that age were really cruel, and so this resulted in me being bullied a lot by some kids. I mean, I was bullied for all sorts. The way I looked, how I walked, how I talked, and that was really hard because I wanted to be accepted for who I am, and when I was getting bullied, I obviously wasn't, and so I didn't know how to deal with that. I would just like, instead of sticking up for myself, I would just take it on the chin and accept that having a disability means getting bullied and being treated differently, and so I wouldn't stick up for myself a lot, and I would just let it happen and they would get away with it. I wish I did stick up for myself a bit more, but then back then I didn't know how to. So that was one of the issues I had going through school with a disability, being bullied, and it was emotionally draining on me because it made me like question myself a lot, which I shouldn't have done as I look back now. But then I didn't know how to deal with it, and that's how I dealt with it. Also, I would fall over a lot because my balance isn't as great as a normal person's balance is, and so I needed physio for that as well, which was a pain and I hated it. I didn't want to fall over, but I didn't want to go to physio as well. Like, I just wanted to be normal and be like other kids, but like I wasn't, and I wasn't treated like other kids. So due to my bad balance, I would fall over a lot and hurt myself a lot, and that would make it even worse for me on top of the bullying. And I doubted myself even more then and saw myself as a failure because I would just fall over, be bullied, all sorts. But also at the same time, I was achieving things that people never thought I would be able to achieve. So even though I was being bullied and falling over quite a lot and having to go to all these appointments because of my cerebral palsy, I was achieving things like horse riding and running on sports day. I mean, even though I was lose, it was a big achievement for me. I was like creating hobbies while like with horse riding. I absolutely love going horse riding, and it was also like helping my balance and helping me physically, which was good because I enjoyed it and it was helping me, so that was a bonus. I also liked going swimming, even though I couldn't swim back then. It just was just something I enjoyed. I liked going in the water, whether it was in the pool or at the beach. I just loved it. Also, I liked drawing. When I was about 10 years old, I used to sell placemats for charity at my primary school. So that was cool because I was raising money for charity and doing something I really liked as well, which was drawing. I sold my placemats a few times actually. I've always liked doing art, and it's always been a hobby of mine. So as much as I was going through a lot with my bullying and my cerebral palsy, I was achieving new things. Yeah, it was good and bad at the same time. So primary school was a bit up and down, with obviously dealing with my cerebral palsy and going through what I went through, but also like selling my play much. So I have good days and bad days. The good days were when I was confident, happy, I wanted to go to school, and then the bad days were basically where I just wanted to stay in bed, or I was tired and falling over or a lot, or when someone was mean to me, I would let that get to me as well. It was up and down really, and I didn't have many friends as well, so like it was hard then not having as many friends as other people would, and so it was a bit hard going through that, like not having mates, being bullied. When I left primary school, I was just negative towards how I would be secondary school. I just thought, everyone's gonna hate me, I'm just gonna be seen for my disability yet again, I'm gonna be different to all the other kids. And I was just basically negative about the whole situation. I just did not like myself one bit because of what I have been through at primary school. So at secondary school I was scared of going through the same thing. But when I went through secondary school, it was a lot better and people were a lot more accepting of me. So it was easier for me because people would accept me for who I am. And I also made friends in secondary school as well. So that was good because I had people to turn to and talk to about my struggles I was facing, but also it was good to have people hang out with me at school. However, outside of school was a different story. Social wise, like friendship wise, people wouldn't like want to meet up with me, and I'm not sure whether it was because I had a disability or something else, but I would never get like messages of people saying like, do you want to meet up or go out for a day, and so that meant that I was isolated from people. At around 14 years old, when I wasn't at school, I was stuck in my room all day just eating nuts and watching telly because no one would message me to see if I wanted to meet up. And so I would give up and just feel sorry for myself. In my head I told myself, well, everyone does this. Everyone grabs food and watches Netflix. I was absolutely wrong people my age were going out to places with their mates, going to Alton Towers and that, and I wasn't, and left my best friend would meet up with me, and then when she was busy, I never had someone to meet up with it, but when she was free, I would meet up with her and we do something together, like go out for a milkshake or just hang out. And so I really only had her for a while. I still do, she's still the only real friend I got. But when she was busy and I wasn't doing anything with my family, and then I would just sit on my bed or lay in bed watching TV, eating loads of food, and it was really unhealthy. It wasn't the life I wanted, but I didn't know how to fix it. I just basically felt sorry for myself because of it. But my mum and my dad actually spoke to me about it, and they were like, look, you're in your room every day, you're eating snacks, watching TV, it's like really unhealthy for you, like where are your mates? And I was always, instead of saying to them, no one messages me, I could say, oh well, they're busy, and I would just make excuses for people who even weren't my real friends. And basically, I just didn't tell them the truth. But I think my mum knew that I was sexually struggling, and at this point my nan had just died from cancer, and when she was alive I would go down there and hang out with her, as she was my carer, so she would care for me and do stuff for me. But when she did die, I didn't have her anymore, and so I just became depressed, and I didn't know what to do with myself. I just thought sitting in my room all day watching TV would be good for me. I wouldn't have to go out anywhere to meet someone, because no one wanted to meet up with me. And I wouldn't even open the curtain most days. I would just sit in the dark watching telly. But then my mum got me a buddy. A buddy is basically someone who takes you out places. And so my mum got me one then. And even though it didn't work out like I hoped it would, for a couple of months that it lasted, I got to go out places, I got out more, I wasn't sat in my bed watching TV, I went out, I got out a lot more when I didn't have a buddy, because it didn't work out. My sister then became my buddy. And so, yeah, I have my sister to do things with. Obviously, we can't do anything right now because we're in lockdown, but when we can, we do something together, which is good. And so, having a buddy helped me a lot. It helped me a lot because I'm getting out a bit more. I'm not just sat in my room all day. But back then, I didn't even bother messaging people and saying like, do you want to meet up? Do you want to go and grab a drink somewhere? I would just let them like message me, and when they didn't, I would feel depressed. Sometimes I would meet up with people, and other times I would be rejected, which was a kick in the teeth, but at least I could say that, you know what, I tried to make an effort with them instead of waking up to go back to bed. It got a bit easier from there. As I made more friends, I would go out with them a lot more. So my social life was improving a bit more. And my CP, my cerebral palsy, was getting better. Not getting better, but I wasn't having as much like doctor's appointments. I wouldn't have to have speech therapy or physio as much, and that was really good because I hated it. I really didn't want it, especially as I was getting a bit older and wanted to do things that normal teenage girls would do. However, I did still fall over quite a bit at school and out in public, and that was hard because it was kind of a setback. I would like fall over and then I'd be like, why am I the one with cerebral palsy? Like, why me? Why am I the one who had to fall over and all the time and be disabled? Why do I have to be the one with cerebral palsy? Why me? And that happened basically when I fell over or when I had setbacks because of my disability. And so I would just feel sorry for myself a lot every time I fell. And so that was still hard for me, and I would still get down because of my cerebral palsy and feel sorry for myself. And there were still other setbacks for me, like not being able to do the simplest of things, like making a hot drink, or like button up a shirt or tie a shoe. I would just think to myself, like, why can't I do like that? Like my brothers and sister can. Why can't I? Like my little brother is more independent than me. And that moment was the moment that I was like really hard on myself. and I would just put myself down. I still have struggled to this day, and I still have things that bring me down, but the only thing I have, the only choice is to carry on, because that's the only thing I can do, is carry on no matter how I'm feeling. But I am now 17 years old. I've been living with this for 17 years, and I'm used to it by now. Like, even though I have my down days where my muscles ache and people are not understanding towards me, I just have to carry on with it, and even though some days not hard, I still have to do it. I still have to get on with life, because if I didn't, I would just become depressed. But also, like, I do still have people bring me down at times and call me names like spastic or retard, especially when I was in secondary school. People would call me like a spastic or a retard, and that would get me down as well, because I would then think, oh, people recognise that I have a disability. I don't want it to be that way. But then I just have to go like, you know what? So then, if they're gonna try and bring me down, then there's nobody in a way. I mean, I hear words every day on the street from people like calling each other retard or spastic. I hear it on a daily, and every time I hear them two words, I'm like, why do they even use them words? Like, do they know how it can make someone feel who has a disability? And I think part of my issue is people using words like spastic, calling other people retards. Like, it's really offensive to me and to others with cerebral palsy and other disabilities. People don't get that. So when I do hear them words, it kind of makes me angry. And then I have to remind myself I didn't even know what they mean. I've been called them words in the past, and it's not been very nice, to be honest. But then I see it as it's their problem, not mine. Like, if they're gonna call me a spastic or a retard, it's their problem. I've done nothing wrong. They're basically like a agenda against disabled people. Like, people basically see them as different, like monsters, so they're treated differently. But the reason why I've done this video today is not only raise awareness on cerebral palsy and my experience with it, but like you raise awareness of other disabilities. From my point of view, I feel like disabled people today are treated different, and it's kind of hard for me to come to terms with, because we're not different, we're all people. We're exactly the same as people without a disability. We might struggle with things more. In my case, we might be physically different, we might sound different, we might walk different. I think people have got better accepting disability, but there's still an agenda against it. So I basically done this video to raise awareness on it and just to say, look, I'm disabled, doesn't mean I'm different. I hope you can all take something away that I've spoken about today. If you have any questions, you can ask me about my disability. I just want to raise awareness on disabilities, and that's why I've done this video today. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.